Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear fellows. Today, my topic is narration, its rules, and comprehension. In other words, narration is also called direct and indirect. So, let's start from the very first. Very first, we see what is narration. Narration means to change the speech of a speaker or any kind of explanation or any type of description. For example, direct speech is here. Ali says, comma, and then inverted commas are started. I pray to Allah Almighty. When we make the indirect speech, so it becomes then. Ali says that he prays to Allah Almighty, means when there will be the removal of inverted commas, so that comes there. Very next, we see another type of that. Narration is to report the speaker's words. There are two forms of to report a speech. Very first, direct speech, and second is indirect speech. In a direct speech sentence, the speaker's exact or same words are used to express any type of description or any type of statement. The second is indirect speech, where we find a person's speech is not required to use the exact or some words, same words of the speaker. Indirect speech is a way to express the rephrasing in own words. The next is narration. Where is reporting speech found and where is reported speech found? A sentence which is outside the inverted commas, that is called reporting speech, and a sentence which is in the inverted commas, that is called reported speech. The very next we find reporting verbs in direct speech. If it is mentioned, say to, will be changed into indirect speech, it becomes tell. If it is mentioned, says to, in reporting speech, that would be changed into indirect speech, tells, and said to will be converted into indirect speech and it becomes told. Now we have more changings. Some other changes also take place when we change direct speech to indirect speech. This will be changed into indirect speech, that. These will be transformed into those. Here will be converted into there. Today into that day. Now will be changed into indirect speech and it becomes there then. Now we see more. Some other changes also take place. Tonight will be transformed into that night. Yesterday will be changed into previous day. Tomorrow will be transformed into next day. This will be changed into so, and just will be changed into then. Here we find another very vital rule. Pronouns are changed according to S1 rule, where S1 refers to, S stands for subject, O stands for object, and N stands for no change. Remember this fact that the pronouns are changed according to subject object. First person is changed according to subject, second person is changed according to object, and third person bears no any changing. Now we see more. A few important rules when we change direct speech into indirect speech. The very first we find verb is changed according to the form and sense of the sentence. Second is inverted commas are removed in indirect speech. Third is connective word is used in the beginning of the reported speech. And fourth is here persons and helping verbs of the reported speech are also changed. The very first here we find the present or future tense changing. If our reporting speech is in the present or future tense, for example, say, says, or will say, there will be no change in the tense of the verb. Example is mentioned here. Ahmed says, comma, and then inverted commas start. I can solve the problem. When we transform into indirect, so it becomes Ahmed tells that he can solve the problem. Second is here, if the reporting verb is in the past tense, the tense of the verb in the reported speech or indirect speech will be changed. For example, direct form. She said, I cooked the food. And when we make the indirect speech, so it becomes there. She said that she cooked the food. Here we find in the direct I. I is the first person, and I have told you already that first person is changed according to subject, and she is here. So when we make the indirect speech, so she takes the place of I, and in the indirect speech, when we remove the inverted commas, that comes there. So it is then indirect speech. She said that she cooked the food. Now we see more. In indirect speech, the interrogative sentence will turn into an assertive sentence. That means the subject will follow the verbs. So we see how to make the interrogative. Change the reporting verb into ask or inquire. If the question is started by an interrogative pronoun or adjective or adverb like who, which, what, why, when, where, how, etc., so write or use whether or if. For example, you said to me, do you write letter? And when we make the indirect speech, so it will be as. You asked me means that in the replacement of said to, asked has come here. You asked me, inverted commas are removed now, so if comes here. If I wrote a letter. So this is all about narration, and its very important few rules. So hopefully my this educational clip has benefited you a lot. But don't forget to subscribe my channel English Contents Pro. Stay blessed and make sure the practice of it as well. Allah Hafiz.